Democrat voter hypocrisy on full display, and there's no point in even really telling you because it would be preaching to the choir. But I'll show you anyway. In 2018, 71% of Democrats said an assault committed in high school should disqualify someone from being a Supreme Court justice. In 2020, only 30% of Democrats say assault committed when someone was a senator should disqualify that person from the presidency. Now, I'm being family friendly to those that are listening, but there is another word, and it's about, they're referring to the Brett Kavanaugh allegations and the Joe Biden allegations, but because this is YouTube, I'm being a bit more family friendly, so you get the point. But the point here is, maybe I could be fair. They're not being inconsistent. They're saying high schoolers need to be held accountable and senators get free rein. Democratic voters don't care that Joe Biden did it. They think he did. They don't care. Now, progressives are the most honest. Surprisingly, though, female Bernie supporters are the most likely, are more likely than men to vote for Biden, even after all this. But they acknowledge that if they could prove this against Biden, it's disqualifying. And they also acknowledge if you could prove any of the allegations against Donald Trump, it's disqualifying. And I think that's fair. I mean, if you could prove that a president had done, committed a felony of some sort, I'm not going to vote for them either. But I find it fascinating. Ben says these questions are from the same pollster, are asked in almost the exact same way, and assume the allegations have been proven. They have nothing to do with either Christine Blasey Ford or Tara Reade's credibility. Less than 2 weeks after the Brett Kavanaugh allegations broke, the public was much more aware of them than they are of the allegations against Joe Biden. Today, 6 weeks after Tara Reade was interviewed by Katie Halper, because the media is lying. YouGov data, how Americans view assault allegations against Joe Biden and Donald Trump. In November, voters may be left to choose between two party-backed candidates who have each been accused of assault. You know what, man? I don't care anymore. I get the game you're playing. You're liars. You're lying liars who lie. I get it. They're going to use, they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. What can we do to try and remove Trump? I know, we'll accuse him of 50 billion different women saying he did all these things. I don't care. I don't care enough already. They've done it to him. They're doing it to Biden. They did it to Kavanaugh. Blah, blah, blah. Is that all you've got? How about when Donald Trump says, we're going to build a wall? Excuse me. No, we're building a wall. You can come out and be like, I perhaps believe the wall is improper because it would be too expensive and perhaps it's a better solution. I'm not saying that's the real argument. I'm saying perhaps you could argue with the man. No, arguments are hard. So when Donald Trump says, I think we need to build a big, beautiful wall from sea to shining sea, they just go racist. And then when Donald Trump is like, I'm going to put tariffs on China, they go, credibly accused. Have you considered arguing with the man? You know what? They're right, though. Unfortunately, they're right. Nobody wants to hear an argument. Only smart people want to hear arguments. The average person wants to feel emotionally satisfied. And so how do people vote? Based on how they feel about someone. And let's be honest, you can like Donald Trump, but he's kind of gross. Look, you can disagree with me. I think he's gross. He is. The way he talks, the way he's talked about women, the way he acts. He's got bad character, okay? You can talk about good policy. You can think you like the guy. I'm not telling you not to like him. I'm just giving you my thoughts and my opinion. Feel free to disagree and comment below and tell me I'm wrong. But there are a lot of people who feel that way. Now, personally, I don't think that's disqualifying if you have a good idea. I want to hear ideas. Coming to me and telling me that the orange man is bad, gross, or whatever, and showing me a giant baby floating in the sky that looks like Trump, that is not an argument. It's not going to work on me. And perhaps many independents who are looking for real policy feel the same way. And that's why Donald Trump is winning with them. I ain't making it up. In the same poll, what do we get? Among independent voters, 41% favor Trump, 38% favor Joe Biden. And then you have 7% saying an other, 9% not sure, and 6% would not vote. But among those who will, Donald Trump's got a 3-point lead among independents. Now, there are 4% of Republicans who are saying they're going to vote for Biden. And interestingly, 5% of Democrats say they're going to vote for Trump. So let me just make this clear. There are more Democratic defectors than Republican defectors. That is big for Donald Trump. Somehow he's managed to convince 5% of Democrats to vote for him. I'm not really surprised, though. Have you seen the story? There was one story from CNN. They went to a Democrat stronghold, and what did they find? These people voted for Democrats locally, but were voting for Trump nationally. Now, interestingly, Joe Biden's lead is mostly due to female voters who favor Joe Biden 51%, and 37% of women say they'll vote for Trump. Trump's doing really bad among women. I don't know if he could do well or do better. Honestly, I don't know what he could do. Among men, 47% will support Trump and 41% will support Joe Biden. That lead for Joe Biden is coming from women, registered voters. He's got a 4-point lead over Donald Trump. If Trump can win the 5% of not sure people, which maybe he can't, we'll see how things play out. But I got to say, I really do love the fact that there are 5% of Democrats would vote for Trump, but only 4% of Republicans would vote for Biden. Trump's won over more Democrats than Republicans he's lost. I think that's significant. They say Biden voters, when asked whom they expect to win, more than a quarter say they don't know. And a few now expect a loss for the Democrat. Nearly all the president's supporters expect him to be reelected. Many voters, even those who say they will vote Biden, will vote Biden, dubious about his ability to win in November, even among Biden's supporters. I wouldn't even call them supporters. I just call them anti-Trump voters. They don't care about Biden. No one thinks the guy's going to win. Anybody who says he's going to win is lying, hoping that the lie will encourage people to go and vote. Several reasons stand out. Continued approval of Trump's handling of the economy, even as the majority see the country in recession, the slowness of many of those who supported Sanders to commit to Biden, and most recently, the charge of assault made against Joe Biden. Though as of now, women's support gives him his lead, not to mention that most presidents running for re-election usually win. And the last time Trump won, he was able to do so without securing the popular vote. Trump's political edge remains the economy, because I will tell you what, you can scream in someone's face, orange man bad, all you want. But if I turn around and Trump's sitting there straightening his shirt like, I love to do, and he hands someone $100 bill, they put it in their pocket, I know who they're voting for. I don't mean literally, but with the economy doing really well, the people I've talked to have said, stay the course, man. This is before the pandemic, people were telling me it was the best year of their lives. They had never made more money. Things were selling like hotcakes. The economy was aflame in a good way. And that was Trump. Now that the economy is collapsing due to government mandates, who's best equipped to fix it? Donald Trump is. You know what, man? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I don't think right now there is anyone else I could point to in terms of fixing the economy. Donald Trump has years proving he made an economy work. He does. You can't deny it. Jim Cramer, CNBC, the best numbers of our lives. And that was under Trump. Trump's the guy who walked into the auto dealership and said, I'm going to tax you 30% unless you bring your cars back. And guess what? They did. He's the one who put tariffs on China. Now, of course, you'll hear from the Democrats all the time saying tariffs on China aren't paid by China. They're paid by Americans. Right. And the American corporations don't want to pay it. So they bring their factories back. The point is, under Trump, the economy did really well. Now we're facing a pandemic. It's not Trump's fault. You can criticize the man's response. Fine. But once this is all over, and it will be within the next year, perhaps, who knows, we're going to need someone to fix the economy. How did Joe Biden do? I mean, the Obama economy wasn't awful. It was slow growth. Who else do we have? No one really. I mean, Bernie Sanders wants to spend. But if the only option is Biden or Trump, I can't even look to any of the other Democrats and tell you who I think could do better to fix the economy. If the economy is the only issue we're concerned about, then dare I say, Trump is the right choice, period. Now, as president, there are a lot of other factors. Let's be honest, foreign policy being one of them. You can criticize him, I have, and there are a lot of questions that come up in dealing with our troops in the Middle East, oil, North Korea, Venezuela, the escalating military tensions with China. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not super confident in Donald Trump as a wartime leader. Like, I'm talking about literal wartime. You can argue in the pandemic, he's done a fine job. I'd say I give him a C+, B-, because I think he could have done better. And it's hard to compare, right? So I think he's typically leaning towards having done a pretty good job. Not perfect, but ignore the press, ignore the lies, judge him based on how things are going. And honestly, if the projections were much, much higher, saying millions of people, potentially hundreds of thousands, and it's well below that, I don't care what you're going to accuse him of or what you're going to say. I'm going to go ahead and say, well, the projections are down, so I'll give it to him. Oh, I get it. The projections came from his administration. Yeah, but the conservatives and Trump have been clashing with Fauci. Well, not so much Trump, but the conservatives have. And if Fauci gave these projections, and it was a guy in the UK who gave projections, and we've beaten those projections, well, then Trump deserves credit for that, doesn't he? Of course, the left and the Democrats have argued that Trump has tried touting the large numbers so that he could claim victory. Oh, shut up. I don't care. To me, it doesn't matter. For you, the average American, find out what matters most to you. I would say if it comes to foreign policy, it's actually a coin toss because Joe Biden's substantially worse. Oh, man, I just got to say it. You know what? Thinking of the Obama administration compared to the Trump administration on foreign policy, and Obama was worse. Hillary would have been way worse. So I'm not voting for Biden. Dare I say, I think Trump is the best choice you have right now considering the crisis. I really mean it. I know a lot of people have said, what will Tim do? Will Tim vote or whatever? And I've consistently said the Democrats have made it easier than ever to consider voting for Donald Trump. Man, the dude's got character defects that, I think are gross. But you're going to hear it more and more and more from people, especially people like me, who've tried their hardest not to support this man. I think Trump's funny. I don't think he's that bad. He's not my choice for president. But considering he's proven he can make the economy work, and considering the economy is in serious danger right now, I think Trump's probably the best choice. But look, it really just comes down to the fact that what are you comparing him to? You're comparing Donald Trump to Joe Biden. It's not really that fair. I think if you were to compare Donald Trump to many, many other politicians, there are many, many better choices. But right now, all that matters is even if they put the best of the best up against Trump, they haven't proven on the economy. So Trump really does get a huge bit of credit from this. And that's not necessarily my opinion. I mean, it is. But what I mean is they're saying its big advantage is the economy. Even though it's bad, people still believe that Trump is the right person for the job. And they're right, he is. So, you know what, man? I will let you know, in all honesty, I will never stop ragging on his character and his behavior. But you got to give him credit where credit is due. Joe Biden, on the other hand, is a nothing. What are his policies? What is he doing? What can he even speak to? You know what, man? The Democrats wanted to make Trump look good as possible. That's my conspiracy theory. They picked Joe Biden so they could put Joe Biden next to Trump so that Trump would look really, really good. And it worked. Whatever, man. Well, I'm not committed. I'm not. I know. People are gonna yell at me in the comments, be like, take the red pill, Tim, or whatever stupid nonsense. Nah. They might swap out Joe Biden, but I don't know, man. We'll see how things play out. I got one more segment for you coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I'll see you all shortly.